The heart wall is layers of trapped emotions. So it's
Mm.
multiple trapped emotions creating layers around the heart. So it's forming a bit of a shield or a wall around it. So this wall is protecting us from hurt, it's protecting us from heartache. So you can also kind of think of it as going into a bunker in
Mm.
unsafe times. So we go into a bunker to shelter us from what's going on out there. But at some point, we need to exit the bunker and start to live
Mm.
life again. And so when you think about it like that bunker, it's that heart wall to live a fulfilled and happy life full of abundance and love, that heart wall needs to come down. Otherwise, we're still living in a bunker.
How is this going to affect our lives?
There's studies and and medical speakers who speak of the effects of suppressing your emotions
Mm.
and the effects that it has on our body. And I believe that that comes out of the energy that we have that we're holding on to that
Yeah.
then distorts the systems and the organs and the natural flow of energy within our body systems. The effects of suppressing emotions can be detrimental.
Is it possible that negative emotions get stuck in our body and in the organ of our hearts if we don't know how to process them? How this is going to stop us to live a life full of abundance, happiness, and create beautiful relationships? We're going to talk about this topic with Carmela Politano. Stay with us and enjoy this conversation. I mean, we're very familiar with emotions and what we feel, but a lot of people, and I include myself in the past, I was
Mhm.
not really aware how these emotions function in the body and how they affect us in our present life and in our future lives.
Right.
So maybe we can begin that.
So, with emotions, it's important to think about them as energy, and it's just energy at different frequencies. So, you can think of a trapped emotion, for example, as a ball of energy that has not been fully processed through your body at the time that it was experienced. And so, it's like all these little balls of energy sort of stuck in your body. So the natural cycle of an emotion is that we go through and we experience something, and then we have the emotional reaction to it, and that's where it's created. And then we process it, and it leaves our body. But at times where perhaps there's a stressful situation, a negative situation, a traumatic event, that your body just isn't able to process it, and so that's where it gets stuck.
Could you give us like an example of what could be a trap emotion that is
Right.
not helping somebody to improve his personal life?
Any emotion can become trapped. It's the negative emotions of the lower vibration that have that tendency to get trapped. Higher positive vibrations are easier to be processed. So those aren't the ones that get trapped. It's all the negative ones. So in the emotion code, we have a chart or a list of about 60 emotions. And there's rejection, there's sadness, there's grief, failure, effort unreceived. So these are all emotions that we could be experiencing at any point in our life, from childhood all the way through to your current age. And will continue because we're human, so we experience all of these emotions. So you could be going through perhaps a divorce that's it, it's a positive experience, and some trapped emotions of rejection might get caught up in that. Perhaps even as a child, losing your first pet, there's heartache and heartbreak in that, and that's where an emotion could possibly get trapped and just not processed. So any event for me personally, it sounds very simple, but the process of even just purchasing a sofa couch and picking out the colors and the fabric, and I found that extremely stressful. And I went through after ordering this couch,
Mm.
I had anxiety for about a week following that. I felt like I was just couldn't focus. I was preoccupied. I could feel my heart racing. Something as simple as purchasing a couch. And that was enough to have trapped an emotion of the emotion that came up at that time with my practitioner at that time was impending doom. Something
Mm,
so simple that
mm.
I was worried about having a couch in my home that I wasn't going to like. So it's traumatic experiences, stressful experiences on the whole spectrum from that could create these emotions that get trapped within us.
How do we process these in our bodies, or how is that this emotion gets trapped and never leave our body?
Sure. I think it's twofold. I think, first of all, we need a certain level of awareness to understand the emotions that we're going through
Mm,
and to be able to identify the emotion that you're experiencing. And then once you are able to identify that, just acknowledging it and accepting it, being with it, feeling it. It's very natural and healthy to have emotions and to express emotions. It's it's at the point where we suppress them or we keep ourselves so busy we just don't even want to think about them, and so we're not acknowledging them. That's where it gets trapped. So I would say that healthy way to process them is to recognize them, feel it, experience it, and then let it go.
so pretty much what you're saying is when we are experiencing a traumatic situation, it's better to feel all the pain and
Yeah.
just process this than instead of trying to block the emotion and no, I don't want to feel anything, I'm strong. And is
Mhm.
this how the energy is
I
trapped?
believe so. And there's studies and and medical speakers who speak of the effects of suppressing your emotions
Mm,
and the effects that it has on our body. And I believe that that comes out of the energy that we have that we're holding on to that
yeah.
then distorts the systems and the organs and the natural flow of energy within our body systems. So yeah, the effects of suppressing emotions can be detrimental.
What happened when somebody is having a lot of traumatic events since childhood and I'm talking about myself pretty much is and I don't know, maybe a feeling of rejection, maybe a feeling of unworthiness, maybe a feeling of I'm not doing
Mm,
the things right, and we're not processing this and we're accumulating all these emotions and then we become adults. How is this going to affect our lives?
hmm So there's lots of ways, which I know you also practice with meditation and even just positive thinking,
Mm,
exercise, diet, keeping yourself healthy. That can all help. And that all helps more on a conscious level. Where the emotion code comes in, we start working on a subconscious level. And by using muscle testing and making a connection in with the subconscious mind, we can actually identify the emotions by their name, which is
mm,
really important to be
mm,
able to identify them by name, and then clearing it out by running a magnet over the governing channel or the
mm,
governing meridian. So
mm.
when you're speaking about all these energy pathways from traditional Chinese medicine,
Yeah.
the governing meridian is one that runs from the tip of your tailbone all the
Mm,
way up your back,
mm,
around your head to the top of your lip.
mm.
And as we clear out the negative trapped emotion that has been identified by running over that channel is connected to all the other meridians in your body and it clears out and it processes that for you.
When we talk about the subconscious mind, how do you define that? Because I think it's sometimes from some people
Mm,
it's a little bit abstract.
yeah.
I define it like this, and from my understanding, is my conscious mind is me being aware of the situation where I am right now, when I'm very
Yeah.
focused,
Mhm.
and my subconscious mind is pretty much everything what I have learned in my life that is stored in my body,
Right.
like playing guitar, like I don't know, like jumping, running, driving a car. Because sometimes you're driving a car, you're not even aware that you're driving the
Mhm.
car. It's like pretty much automatic.
Yeah.
That is for me the subconscious mind. But how do you define it for the people who don't have like a idea of what we're talking about?
So it's this supercomputer within us that keeps us alive. It's what allows all of the automatic systems and processes to happen, even just breathing, your heart pumping, all of these things blinking and keeping your eyes, from going being dry. So all of these things are just automatic, and that all comes through the subconscious mind. And you're right, the conscious mind is very much in the here and now. It gathers data, it analyzes, and it makes decisions. But when you think about how the two play together, so what we have gone through in our life and that subconscious mind that has recorded everything, it remembers everything and then it influences what you're experiencing today based on past experiences. So if I was a child and I had a scary encounter with a big dog, right? As an adult today, when I see dogs around on the street, I may feel a little bit of nervousness or fear as I'm approaching that dog. But in the time, my conscious mind knows this dog is not going to harm me. It's cute, it's big. But my subconscious mind is bringing forward that past experience of having a scary experience with a
Mm.
dog. So it connects the two. So they do work together.
So it's like a software that is installed inside of us, pretty much.
It keeps our patterns going. And so that's also the influence of trapped emotions, because having trapped emotions in our body, then when something happens, it triggers those trapped emotions within us
Mm.
to to feel that again and again and again. And so it creates patterns. So by clearing out these trapped emotions, we can start to break that pattern and start to break the influence of those
Mm.
energies within us.
What is the hardware exactly?
Okay. Harwell is the most powerful element of the emotion code. The concept of it is having all these trapped emotions in our body. Your subconscious mind has then pulled all of these trapped emotions and created a wall around our hearts. So this wall is protecting us from hurt, it's protecting us from heartache. It wants to just keep us safe. So you can also kind of think of it as going into a bunker in
Mm.
unsafe times. So we go into a bunker to shelter us from what's going on out there. But at some point, we need to exit the bunker and start to live
Mm.
life again. And so when you think about it like that bunker, it's that heart wall to live a fulfilled and happy life full of abundance and love. That heart wall needs to come down. Otherwise, we're still living in a bunker. The heart wall is layers of trapped emotions. So it's
Mm.
multiple trapped emotions creating layers around the heart. So it's forming a bit of a shield or a wall around it.
Mm.
So we can, it's hard to say how many trapped emotions create this wall. It varies for people. Some people have few, some people can have 20 or 30
Mm.
trapped emotions that create this wall. And then it just takes an emotion code session, as you experienced, for us
Yeah.
to go in and find those, specifically the heart wall emotions, to clear them out, to open yourself up to giving and receiving love again fully and experiencing life
Mm.
without being sheltered.
Yeah. Something that I've found very interesting. I mean, we made 2 sessions of hardware with me. Um, and my and it stay in my mind. Why are these emotions trapped in the heart? Why all these emotions are creating a wall in the heart and not in the liver, not in the kidneys, nor somewhere else?
So our heart is it's the core of our being. It's the source of our creativity and of our love and of romance. And this is also the organ that can experience heartache and heartbreak. And I think it's because of that that the subconscious mind really wants to protect it, because it doesn't want us to feel the pain and the agony of that heartache and that heartbreak. And so it's the subconscious mind's way of protecting us from that. That's why it's around the heart versus the other organs.
So it's pretty much like all the traumatic emotions that the heart is trying to protect himself
Yeah,
from pain.
yeah. And also in the traditional Chinese medicine philosophy, the heart is the emperor of our emotions. And so we can really experience emotions, but sometimes your subconscious mind might know that, whoa, this experience is going to just be too intense.
Mm.
So it's like, keep it down a little bit, let's suppress it. And it's doing that to protect us, and it's serving a purpose at the time. It's just that when we're finished with that experience, we don't need that anymore.
What are the benefits of clearing the heart wall completely?
So many benefits. Clarity, clarity, um, and direction. So if maybe you were feeling a little bit stuck, it can open you right up and give you a little bit of direction. Um, Physical pains and ailments can start to dissolve and go away. It can just open your awareness and propel
Mm.
you forward more on a program of self-development and personal realization of your potential. That's amazing. And of course, it can improve relationships. So the more you're able to give and receive love, the more abundant your relationships are, whether it's relationships with others or even relationship with self. Being able to love yourself, give and receive love to yourself is so important. And then, of course, that will fall out to all the relationships that you have within your life.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people would be very interested in that, to improve relationships, because
I will say it helps in relationships. For me, one of the things that came about was just being able to communicate a lot easier as well. So when I don't have a guard up or trapped emotions influencing me and making me feel insecure or unsafe, when that's taken down, you can have very genuine conversations. And I think that's a big piece of relationships is being able to communicate and create that connection with either a loved one or a colleague or whatever the relationship is. That piece is very important to have that genuine relationship.
and you attribute that openness to communication to releasing one of your heart walls.
Yeah, absolutely. When my husband Kevin and I, who are part of our Kevella energy healing, when we first met, it was really important for me to learn how to be vulnerable and learn how to let go of control because my past relationships all seemed to have a certain pattern and I was attracting a certain type of person. And of course, I can only look at myself. So I started to look inward and realized I need to let go of control and stop trying to make a certain outcome happen and just let it open up organically. And I've been working with an energy healer for over 10 years. And when I first met Kevin, it was really important to me to let go of that and be vulnerable and feel safe to be vulnerable. And that's when he worked on clearing my heart wall. So I believe that it it can change the trajectory of your relationship. And at that time as well, Kevin started to see our practitioner, and he also had his heart wall cleared at the same time.
Mm.
So it I believe it's kept us happy and healthy together,
Mm.
and to be able to go on that path together is incredible. So yeah, I'm happy to say we're a heart wall free couple, which makes life pretty nice.
Well, that sounds really good. I think a lot of couples should do that.
Yeah, it's really great working with couples. We've done that before, and it's just it really is. Everyone then moves forward just clear of those influences and those triggers. Yeah.
What is the emotional code exactly?
Yeah. So the emotion code was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Dr. Bradley Nelson, I believe it's also a book, so he's the author of the Emotion Code book, and it was published around 2007, I believe, so about 15, 16 years ago. And Dr. Bradley Nelson was originally a chiropractor, and through a 20-year practice, he just had this desire to really figure out what the root cause
Mm.
of his clients' ailments were, recognizing that there's something more. And so tuning into the subconscious mind and really nurturing a relationship with subconscious, he was able to then start asking questions and getting those answers from the client's subconscious mind. Of course, having the conversations with them and getting that permission to do so. But through his practice, he started to realize that the majority of the ailments had an emotional component to it. So it's really important to, for the healing process, to include that emotional component as well, right? So from his learnings, about 90% of our ailments are based or rooted in emotions and
Mm.
that negative trapped emotions in our body and that energy.
I just can speak from my personal experience, and I tell you, I feel very light right now.
Mm,
I feel a little bit more confident into taking more risks concerning businesses, concerning career, concerning that I'm still processing. It's like we release, I don't know, like 10 layers of the hardware. Um, and it took me like a week to start feeling, oh, wow, I'm not feeling worried anymore. Or I'm not feeling like
mm,
triggered anymore by this situation. Or I'm taking everything more lightly. Or I don't think so much anxiousness concerning this situation. It's been really, really life changing for me just to clear this. And I was not really aware of this. I was not aware that I had so much trapped
mm,
emotions. But when I start thinking about, I said like, yes, okay, now that I try to analyze myself, I recognize that I always had these fears. What you said, like the example with the dog, that I was
mm,
foreseeing a bad result from a situation that haven't even happened right now.
right? Yes.
And I'm not thinking about, I don't think like this anymore.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And we do. We have a lot of that built up in us. A lot, a lot.
Mm.
So the benefits of clearing it are just
Mm.
incredible. And you never know what, like anything can create anything. So anything can cause anything when you're working with energy. And yeah, it's being able to move forward without that. I'm thrilled for you,
Mm.
and you're also very, you practice meditation, and that's a really good thing to keep going for maintenance. So the meditation, just positive thoughts, and of course continuing to clear trapped emotions, because it's not really a one and done. We're
Mm.
still living life, we're still interacting with people, we're
Yeah.
still having experiences, and we're still creating trapped emotions.
Mm.
The more I believe we can be in tune, and the more I believe we can be calm and still, and as we said at the
Mm.
beginning, recognize those emotions, the less we're going to create them.
Mm.
But it's about clearing them out so we
Mm.
don't have that vibration that we're being attracted to anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
Especially because I think some of these trap emotions there are from 30 years ago. I mean, some of the emotions that we clear with me, they were from when I was in the womb of my mom. So that means like 43 years ago. And these emotions are trapped for so long, and you're not even conscious that this emotion is affecting your life somehow. It's really amazing. But um, just to reply what you were saying, it's really fascinating that once you clear all these old emotions, and we continue to live life and continue to develop relationships and breakups and experience good situations and traumatic situations, we don't get
Yeah.
triggered and we don't build these walls anymore. It's just how I'm feeling right now, because I've been dealing with some stressful situations in the last weeks as well. And I had the feeling that I'm reacting not perfectly, but a lot much better with the
Mm,
situations.
it's good.
And that is
Yeah.
really, really fantastic, because I'm just having a sense of peace inside of me right now, that
Mm,
I know that in the
that's
past I wouldn't
beautiful.
feel it in some situations. And that
That's
is,
beautiful. That's my hope for everyone, is to
mm,
feel that peace inside. Hmm.
yeah, that is really, really beautiful. Carmela, I want to thank you so much for these sessions, for this podcast. Where can the
Welcome.
people find you?
Absolutely. So we are Kevella Energy Healing, and our website is Kevella, Kevella .ca. So we are based in Vancouver, Canada, but we do emotion code sessions with people all over the world, either virtually or over the phone. And it's myself and my partner, Kevin Deschamps. And yeah, this is our passion, and we look forward to helping people be free of trapped emotions and their
Mm.
influences.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Carmela. It's been a very very life changing experience for me, and I
I'm
this is
thrilled.
changing pretty much a lot of aspects of my life. So
I'm thrilled.
I'm
And I
really
want to say
grateful for that.
thank you. I do want to say thank you to you as well, Felipe. Your passion and your energy is
Mm.
inspiring. And
Mm.
I know
Thanks.
you are interviewing people who inspire, but for me, that's you. So thank you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.